Hi everyone, hope you're all doing well. Just wanted to record another short video today. Before we get started, let's do a quick verse. Wanted to do Psalm 112, verse 1 through 3. Praise the Lord. Blessed are those who fear the Lord, who find great delight in his commands. Their children will be mighty in the land. The generation of the upright will be blessed. Upright here means righteous, means good, honorable. Wealth and riches are in their house, and their righteousness endures forever. Righteousness means like goodness. Endures here means to last. So their goodness lasts forever. It's just pretty much stating that people who fear the Lord and do right, follow his commands, his rules, the Lord finds great delight in them. And he's saying your children will be blessed, and generations will be blessed. And it's just important for us to remember that, especially during these times. So I thought that was a good verse to start with this morning. Let's get into our lesson. And I wanted to go in the book, and I'm on page 56. I know we had a couple of lessons before, but a lot of these are pair work and group work. We can get back to those once we are back in the classroom together. So let's start on 56. And what it's talking about here is antonyms with prefixes. So antonym means the opposite of a word. So let's just say the first one is considerate. What they're doing is they're adding what's called a prefix. A prefix is a letter, a word, or a number that goes before the word to make it the opposite of the word. So antonym is opposite. Prefix is something that you add to the word to make it opposite. So the prefixes here that they're using are IL, IM, IN, or IR. It says write the correct prefix in front of each adjective. So we have A through H. We can do the first one together. The word here is considerate. Okay, so I already answered it. Considerate means to be polite, to do something nice. So the opposite here, we would add IN, is the correct, and that makes it inconsiderate. Let's practice that word together. Inconsiderate. 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 And it means thoughtlessly causing hurt or inconvenience to others. So considerate means to be nice. Inconsiderate pretty much means to not be nice, to be mean. And some other words here are to be disrespectful, not concerned, or not caring. So let's go back to the rest of them. Do B through H, and then go ahead and hit pause, and then when you come back, we'll go through those together. Okay, so let's do B, consistent. The correct answer here would be inconsistent. We would add IN again. So let's say it together. Inconsistent. 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 And it means not staying the same throughout. So to be consistent means not to change. It is the same over and over. So inconsistent means changing, unpredictable, not staying the same. So this is inconsistent. Okay. C, decisive. Again, we would use which prefix? We would use IN again. And we say it indecisive. 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 And indecisive means not having or showing the ability to make decisions quickly and effectively. Some other words are unsure, uncertain, undecided. So to be decisive means that you can make decisions quickly. So this is the opposite, which you would make it indecisive, means not being able to make decisions quickly. Okay. What did you get for D? Logical. For logical, we would add IL. So it's illogical. 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 And it means lacking sense or clear, sound reasoning. Also means unreasonable, not making any sense. So if we take out the ill, it means logical, means whatever you're saying or doing makes sense. It's logical. The opposite, the antonym, is illogical. Okay. The next one, mature. We would use the prefix im. So it would be immature. Immature, which means having or showing an emotional or intellectual development appropriate to someone younger. It pretty much means acting childish. So if you say someone is mature, that means they're acting like an adult, they're acting responsible. The opposite of that would be somebody that's acting like a child. We call them immature. So here we would use the IM. Okay, for F, proper, we would use improper. Improper. Improper means not in accordance with accepted rules or standards. It also means unprofessional or unacceptable. So if someone is acting improper, that means that they're probably not following the rules. If someone is following the rules, that means they're acting proper. This is improper, the opposite. Okay. For G, the word is responsible. Which prefix would we use there? We would use the IR. So it's irresponsible. 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 And it means not showing a proper sense of responsibility. It also means careless or thoughtless. So someone that's acting responsible means that you're thinking things through, you're making the right and proper decisions. Irresponsible means the opposite of that, not showing any proper sense of responsibility. You're just being careless and you're being thoughtless. Irresponsible. And the last one is tolerant. So for tolerant, we would use the prefix in. So it's intolerant. 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 The definition is not tolerant of views, beliefs, or behavior that differ from one's own. It also means one-sided, not accepting. So to be intolerant means that you're not trying to understand, or you're not trying to see what the other person's view is. It's just it's what it means, one-sided. It just means that you're not going to put up with it. The opposite would be tolerant, which means you put up with that person's views, beliefs, or their behavior. Okay. All right, let's go to section B. It says complete each opinion with one of the antonyms in part A. So pretty much you're going to use A through H, these words, and plug them into numbers 1 through 8. So now that you know what the definitions are, go ahead and read the sentences. Look for key words that will give away what the word probably is. We can do one together. Number 1 says, you can be 40 and still be blank if you refuse to grow up and have the expected behavior for a person your age. So what are the key words here? I think refuse to grow up is key. And also the expected behavior. It's talking about behavior for a person's age. So because it's talking about refuse to grow up and behavior of a person's age, I think that the correct answer would be E, immature. You can still be 40 and be immature if you refuse to grow up. Immature means having or showing an emotional or intellectual development appropriate to someone younger. Remember, it means acting childish. So go ahead and do 2 through 8. Let's pause it here and then come back and we'll go through these together. Okay, number 2. People today just don't care about following correct rules or manners. They have such blank behavior. So what are some of the key words here? Following correct rules or manners. So since we know that the answer is F, improper. People today just don't care about following correct rules or manners. They have such improper behavior. Okay, 3. Today's politicians are so blank. They just change their opinions and statements from one day to the next. So the key word here I saw was they change their opinions and statements from one day to the next, not being consistent. So I think today's politicians are so inconsistent. They just change their opinions and statements from one day to the next. Inconsistent means to constantly change. 4, selfish people are often blank of others and don't care about their feelings. I think some keywords here are selfish and don't care about their feelings. Since we know they're talking about selfish people and they don't care, it would probably be A, inconsiderate. Selfish people are often inconsiderate of others and don't care about their feelings. Inconsiderate means not caring about other people's feelings. Okay, 5, blank people refuse to accept ideas and behavior based on their own. Words here, refuse to accept ideas and behavior different from their own. So for 5, we have H, intolerant. Intolerant people refuse to accept ideas and behavior different from their own. Remember, intolerant meant not tolerant of views, beliefs, or behavior that different from one's own. Okay, 6, many accidents happen when people are blank and don't give careful thought to the results of their actions. So what are the key words here? Don't give careful thought. What word goes with that? It would be G, irresponsible. Many accidents happen when people are irresponsible and don't give careful thought to the results of their actions. It means irresponsible, not giving any thought. 7, because young people lack wisdom and reason, they often make blank decisions. Keywords here are lack wisdom and reason. So for 7, we would go with D, illogical. Because young people lack wisdom and reason, they often make illogical decisions. 8, many young people are blank about their future and unable to choose a course of action. Keywords here are unable to choose a course of action. So that one would be C, indecisive. Many young people are indecisive about their future and unable to choose a course of action. Indecisive means not able to make a decision. I hope that makes better sense. Just remember that a prefix is something that you add to a word to make it the opposite of what it really means. So now that we've gone over this, let's actually turn to page 136 and let's do the vocabulary plus. And on page 136, 7A, there's 4 sentences here. And it says, cross out the word that does not fit the meaning of each sentence. So in each sentence, there's an A and a B. And in the B, there are 3 words, and 2 of them can be used. 1 is incorrect. It wants you to take out the one that is incorrect. Let's read 1 together. It says, today I saw a driver in a car at a stoplight. He was texting, talking on a cell phone, and he had his laptop open all at once. So B says, unfortunately, that seems to be a common practice these days. It seems indecisive, illogical, irresponsible to me. So the word that they took out was indecisive because it's talking about he was texting, talking on a phone, and he had a laptop open. So we know that he's being irresponsible because he's driving a car, and he's also being illogical. Let's go to illogical. Illogical means lacking a sense or clear of sound reasoning. He's not making any sense because he's doing all of these things while he's driving a car. And then indecisive. So we know indecisive is not correct because indecisive has to do with making a decision. So he's not really trying to make a decision here. He's talking on a phone, and he's got his laptop open, and he's doing things while he's driving. So we know that since that has nothing to do with making a decision at the time, we know it's not indecisive. So let's do 2 through 4, and then we'll come back and do these together. Okay, let's go over section 7A. It says, my sister really surprised me the other day. She actually picked up her clothes from the floor and cleaned our room. B, I used to think she was pretty irresponsible, immature, intolerant, but I guess she's changing. So which word here didn't make sense? The word that we can take out here would be intolerant. Irresponsible means not showing a proper sense of responsibility, so not being responsible. So she's talking about her sister surprised her because she actually was being responsible and picked up her clothes from the floor. So irresponsible is correct. Immature, I used to think she was pretty immature. Immature meant having or showing an emotional or intellectual development appropriate to someone younger. Being childish. So she's saying, I used to think she was childish, which is correct, because she was surprised that she cleaned the room. So the word here, intolerant, doesn't really make any sense. Intolerant means not tolerant of one's views or beliefs, or behavior that differ from one's own, which means it's one-sided or not accepting someone else's beliefs or views. That doesn't really go with this sentence, since it's talking about her cleaning the room. Okay, so the incorrect word here would be intolerant. Okay, let's do number 3. A, my nephew hasn't even tried to get a job since he graduated. He lives with his parents, he doesn't pay rent, and he stays out all night. B, wow, he sounds like an inconsiderate person, an immature person, or an inconsistent person. It must be hard on your aunt and uncle. Maybe he'd be motivated if they made him pay rent. So it's talking about he's not really being responsible. He lives with his parents. He doesn't pay any rent, and he stays out all night. So the first word is inconsiderate. Inconsiderate means not thinking of someone else's feelings or being considerate. So that kind of makes sense here. He's not really being considerate of their feelings. So inconsiderate is correct. Immature means acting childish. It sounds like he's acting pretty childish, so that could be correct. So the word that doesn't really go here is inconsistent. To be consistent means to do the same thing over and over. Inconsistent means not doing the same thing. So that's not really fitting here. So inconsistent is the word we want to take out in number 3. Okay, and then the last one, 4. A recent article said that it's becoming common for people to be expected to work extremely long hours in some professions. So it's talking about having to work long hours, having to work longer than normal. So B says, yes, I've heard that lawyers often work past midnight to prepare for big trials. It's considered indecisive to leave the office, it's considered irresponsible to leave the office, or it's considered improper to leave the office before being completely prepared. So it's talking about leaving early. Before being prepared means he's not quite finished. So it's considered indecisive. It's considered him not really being able to make a decision. That one doesn't seem right. It's considered irresponsible. Irresponsible seems right. Irresponsible again was not showing a proper sense of responsibility, being careless or thoughtless. It might seem careless or thoughtless to leave early if you still have work to do. So irresponsible seems right. And improper. It's considered improper to leave the office. Improper was unprofessional or unacceptable. So it does seem unprofessional if he leaves early as well. So I think the word here that needs to come out is indecisive. It doesn't really have anything to do with making a decision. That's all we have for today. I just wanted to go over antonyms and prefixes. Remember that an antonym is the opposite of meaning of the word, and prefixes are what are used before the word to make it the antonym. So we used IR, IM, IN. Those are some prefixes that we can use to make the antonyms. So hope this made sense. Practice. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week. All right. Be safe. Bye.